Hello, everyone. Welcome to Convos and Convos. Tonight, our discussion is going to be the color purple. Um, Ebony, what was your thought about the color purple? And have you rewatched it or watched the new one?
No new one. No, I have not watched the new one. I honestly am not interested in watching the new one. Um, I think that should be left alone. That's a sacred movie for myself. So no, I did not rewatch the movie. Because I know that movie like the back of my hand. I can recite every single word, truly every single word of that movie. I read the book when I was 8 years old, maybe younger, seven. The whole 500 to six, I don't remember how many pages, but I read that whole book. Had no business reading that when I was 7 years old. I read the whole book, and then I got the VHS in 1986, 87. I was 6, and I watched it every single day after school, on the weekends. So I didn't have to rewatch it. Now, what's interesting is watching it as an adult is a lot different, obviously. Um, and I probably should rewatch it now because probably the last time I've actually really watched it, like it's been a few years now. My mindset's a little different, but yeah. So yeah, no, I haven't rewatched it, but it's definitely a triggering movie.
It
Um,
is.
we talk about because it's October right now and it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And so we're talking about domestic violence. And I think we decided that the movies we were going to do were going to all be depicted around that, if I'm not mistaken. And definitely a good movie to start out with. Back in those times, I don't think they even recognized it as being abuse, what Mr. was doing. It was just how you trained up your wife. I mean, he honestly had no business being married to her. She was 14 years old.
Right.
And the sister that he wanted was 12.
Right.
Now, I just realized that right now as I'm talking to you guys, that's the logic in that, like that's really what happened in that movie. He was a grown man going to their father. Their father gave their 14-year-old, by whom which their father sexually abused because she had already had 2 children by that father.
Yep.
Which he wasn't her biological father. She didn't find that out to the end of the movie. But still, you're an old man going in this girl's room, sleeping with her. And then this other old man comes and asks for your youngest daughter's hand in marriage, or the youngest daughter. And you like, I can't. Y'all get me going into that whole little spiel.
So let me ask you this question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I watched it back in the day, and I watched it like periodically here and there throughout my lifetime. I wanted to go and refresh on it, and I went to look it up, and one of the new versions popped up, and it shows how he met them in a store. And I was like, I don't remember it being like this. Did he meet them in a store? Like, how did he even come about to meet them? Do you know?
Yes. So, in the movie, in the beginning, they went to church together. So this is what the wording was, real quick. My little sister Nettie, she's got a man always looking at her. His wife dead. She was killed by her boyfriend coming home from church. They were in church. So that was the wording. And they were sitting in church, and this old man is just staring at the sister in church. And so after that scene where they're at the church, he rides his horse over to their house and asks the dad for Nettie, which is the younger sister. And he said he can't let him have her. She too young. He could give you Celie. She ain't fresh though. She's spoiled twice. And talking about she's ugly, but she ain't a stranger to hard work. So basically, it never came out as to if he sold her or not. Now that I think about it, if he got any money from that or whatever,
Right.
because the mom died. Their mom had died. They said the mom died of a broken heart. So the way she recited it in the beginning of the movie was the mom died of a broken heart. So cussing and screaming because her heart was broke. So I don't know, but he definitely gave her away, and she was a 14-year-old child, which is abuse in itself.
Mhm.
Though again, it wasn't depicted to be that way back then, but yeah, it was abuse in itself. He didn't like her. He didn't want her anyway. He wanted the sister. So that's another, didn't find her to be attractive or appealing at all. Used her as a housemaid, did what he wanted to do, had his, fun or whatever. And yeah, it's kind of, when you think about it now, it's like, interesting.
I know
Gross.
that made me think of like when I was rewatching it, as an adult now, and then seeing the dynamic between her and the kids because she wasn't that much older than them.
Yeah.
And now here you come in and you're supposed to be our stepmom, right? And I'm trying to get you together, get your hair done, and make you keep the house clean with me. And you could just tell there was like no respect. Like, who is this little girl who we're supposed to be listening to? Like, dad doesn't even respect her. So, like, one of them threw a rock at her when she first came the first day, like, and her head was bleeding. Nobody like really cared. Like, she's like,
This is the new mammy. She ain't my mammy.
right. And I keep hearing she sure is ugly.
Wait. You show is ugly.
She said I
That's
may
exactly
be
how she
ugly.
did it.
No, she said I may be black. Hell, I may even be ugly, but I'm alive.
The obsession that he had with what was the other lady's name that
Suge Avery.
Yeah, Suge. He loves Suge's dirty drawers.
Yes.
She did. But she had a crush on her too.
Yeah.
Yes. And in the book, oh my God, the book is so extremely intense. They had a sexual relationship in the book that went deeper than the little scene they had in the movie together.
Mm.
I had no business reading that as a little girl. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I knew too much.
But I think back when they made that movie, at that time, they didn't put a lot of stuff like that in movies.
Well,
Right.
the book came out before the movie. Alice Walker wrote the book in 1982.
Yeah.
So the book came out in 1982, and they weren't putting what was in the books in the movies for sure. Because I was like, I think I read it a couple times now that I think about it.
I never read the book.
Talking about wet roses and stuff. I'm like, what? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh man, that's right.
When I don't know why I can't think of her name. Oprah. What was Oprah's?
Sophia.
Sophia. When Sophia hit that man, I think that was after she did it. And it was like all them years she missed out on her life. And then remember when the lady let her come back for what was it, Thanksgiving or something? And I know she regretted that. Like that was one of those moments, like, you know how you mess up and you're like, I wish I could take things back. That was as soon as she was in jail for that first day, I know she was like, I wish I just never did that. Ever. Like
she hit the mayor.
Oh yeah, that was the mayor.
And his wife, that was really bogus. She drove. Yeah, okay, you try to do a good deed, but then you in the process of trying to do your good deed, you couldn't drive yourself home. You should have not have even tried to do the good deed if you knew you couldn't drive yourself home.
The part where she was like freaking out about them trying to help her out of the mud was like so nerve-wracking to me. Like they're literally telling her, like, let us just push the car. No, they're attacking
Miss Millie.
They're attacking me. Help.
She's like, I can't drive my car with no stranger colored man.
Right. And she was like, I guess I gotta go, y'all. And she didn't
Yeah.
even take her jacket off. It was like literally that quick. Like she came in, hugged all the babies, seen her kids she
Mhm.
ain't seen in a decade, and yeah, that was terrible. But I can just like when I seen it freshly again, I felt all of that. I
Yeah.
felt that energy. I could literally feel her heartbreak again when she heard the car outside. She's like, "Oh, nope, I gotta go." Like she knew, I gotta go, y'all.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely.
And that was a white lady that wanted her to come, her and her kids to come work for her in the beginning, wasn't it?
The mayor's
Mayor's
wife.
wife. Yeah.
Yep. And then she ended up having to be with her for the rest of her life.
No,
Mhm.
she got out.
Well, you know what I mean.
But yeah, I
The
mean,
majority of her life, yes.
yes. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
My heart-wrenching moment was, yes, when her sister came back and she could see like all of the colors just flapping in the wind. She put her glasses on to see like, am I really seeing what I'm seeing? And that's all you could see was the orange and the purple flapping.
Yes.
Suge asked her, "Are you expecting someone?" She was like, "No, ma'am."
So at the time when I was a little girl, I was going to school with my best friends were from the BCN. They were Black Christian nationalists. And so like I was fascinated by them because they went to a church called the Shrines of the Black Madonna. And my best friend Mita right now, she grew it from childhood. We've been best friends since how old are we? 43, 38 years. And she her their I don't say religion, but them being BCN members, they always had those braids and they always had the like fascinating colors and stuff. So I was actually able to see that in real life and actually kind of, I always thought about them when I watched the movie. Like, oh, good memories. But yes, seeing your kids, man, for the first time ever.
Hmm.
Right.
Those were the kids that she had with her daddy, huh?
Yep. And
Yeah.
they're grown ups.
I
Like,
like how they didn't make him be her daddy though, like her real dad. She found that out at the end.
I mean, it still was nasty though. I
I know.
mean, this person who you grow up to look at as a father and you think that this is your father is doing all these vile things to you. I mean, it kind of like corrupts your thought on men in general, right? Like,
Hmm.
how do you even look at someone to say, I ever want to love this type of thing? Like, because they're disgusting. Your father is always like your number one, like your father, your grandpa. Those are like the two examples of
Yeah.
men when you first start coming up. Like, how is this person? Is this a good person? Is this a bad person? And I could see, things that I have seen my dad do. I look for that in men as far as like taking care of the household and, making sure the kids are good and making sure that, you do things as families and all of that. And, but then, you take the bad from them too. Like, what did my dad do that I didn't like? Maybe this is
Right.
something I don't want to experience in men. So I could just imagine her thought process, especially like you sold me and now I'm here with this other old man, like, and he don't even really want me. He want my sister who's younger than me. You know what I mean? Like,
He wanted me to come take care of his kids, basically.
yeah. And then the parts where he's like, where's my, and he's all, he's obsessed with Suge. And now she's sitting here looking at, this is my man over here acting like a fool for this other woman. And here go your glasses. He's
Right.
like, I could do it on my own.
Well,
Where's my
he asked her which suit did she like. He
yeah,
said, "You like the black or the blue?" She said, "I like the black one." He threw the black one on the bed
blue. He said
and
blue.
wore the blue one.
Exactly. I was like, wow. But
He
that
go
just
down and
shows,
he was down in the kitchen. He was finna make her some food.
oh man, threw
Ooh,
that plate
blew up
so
the
far
kitchen.
against the wall.
Blew up the kitchen.
Exactly. She said, ugh, what is this?
She kicked that shit right back
She said,
out.
"You trying to kill me?"
That plate came sliding right back out. Hit the wall.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see her when he started trying to cook for her, how she
Mm.
went and sat down in the chair to watch him, like,
Uh-huh. She's like, I gotta witness this because this is
Yeah,
about
she
to
was
be
amused by him.
yeah, because he really
Funny.
thought he was doing something.
he didn't even know how to start it.
He's like, this stupid thing. Got the gasoline. Didn't you?
Gosh.
No, she sat down in that rocking chair, smiling.
And rocking.
Yep.
Like, I got to see this. Like, yep, he about to jack it up.
Mm-mm.
That stuff, it was still smoking on the tray.
There
Oh,
was there was a part of the movie that um was when she went to cut him. Yeah, when she went to shave him, the last time that she went to shave him in the movie, and she was sharpening that razor, and she was dreaming and like she was imagining herself in Africa. She was
mhm.
sharpening that razor. And he was like, "Salem, ain't that razor sharpened yet? Get on out here and do me right now. Get on out here." She was like, all right. And Suge's run into the house, and all you hear all this African music. Yeah,
I know.
oh yeah, oh yeah. And you hear all this music, and that's like the most hype part of the movie to me.
She was
That and the
ready to go.
singing of God's trying to tell you something. But yeah, that was hype.
Yeah.
I love that part actually. I cried during that part. Like as soon as you could hear like, yes, Lord. And she's trying to sing and she's like listening, and all of a sudden she just stopped and starts walking out. And I was like, where's she going? And I was like, oh my gosh, she's going to her daddy's church. Like,
Yeah. I like
and
that
she
part.
said, see, God, sinners have soul too.
Yep. Yep.
Maybe God is God's trying to tell you something. Maybe.
And she
I
sang
was,
that
I was
heck
watching
out
it
of
like,
Right. I hear Lord God's trying to. Okay, I can get off. I, matter of fact, I'm probably gonna watch it when we done with what we're doing. How
yeah.
about that?
the girl in the choir. She knew who it was. She
Yes, you
sang
knew who it was. Probably it was the only church in the community.
he
When
looking
she was trying
around.
to
She
sing
was like,
louder, she was like,
It was the only church in the community. They all went to that church. Just bad. And then her daughter, I asked my mom this when I was little because I was conflicted. I was like, I think that's her daughter that was actually the lead singer in the choir that
I
was
thought that,
smiling her. Yeah, I was like, that's got to be her daughter.
yeah.
So we just told ourselves all these years that that was her daughter.
Yeah, I really did. I thought that was her too. Because she sung similar to her.
Yep. Yep.
And it was like she just, yeah, I felt that.
I think that too.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's just abuse, man.
the part where Suge was in the bar with her new guy. And then her ex-husband's new girlfriend came in and she's like, who is this?
No, didn't Whoopi's husband come in there with a new girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who she was asking, like, who is Suge? The light-skinned girl was his new
No,
girl.
y'all talking about Sophia.
Yeah, so Sophia, when she went in, she was at the juke joint.
Yeah.
And she was sitting at the table and they was talking about her husband's girlfriend.
Yeah, that was a
Squeak.
Yeah, Squeak. Yeah. So Squeak was like, who is that?
Who this woman?
Yeah, who's this?
Just tell me what y'all want me to say, and I'll say it.
And then when she punched her and she went down in the water underneath the building.
She was like, she best to leave you alone. She was like, fine with me. He was like, you ain't gotta go nowhere. This here my juke joint. She said, that's your juke joint. He was like, listen, woman, can a man dance with his wife if he want to? Not if she left him. And she was like, and not if he my man. You're just a big old heifer. Like I said, fine with me. Then she found herself picking herself up out that thing because she knocked her in that water over there. And then the whole brawl.
She went all the way down in the water though. Like,
How did everybody start fighting?
I know.
What was that?
Everybody was waiting. It was like, go time.
Right. Just all of a sudden, I just want to start hitting you and you and you. Yeah. Weird.
They just didn't want to be the first one to throw a blow. They're like, oh,
Barbara.
cool.
Man. Definitely a good movie. Not sure how I feel about this remake, but
Yeah.
I do
I
want
mean,
to
I
see
think
it
I'll
just
watch
to
it.
see how. Yeah, I want to see it just to see what the difference is on it.
I feel
fun. Let me know how y'all like it.
like they might add like some type of new age twist to it, like similar to how they did the Fresh Prince show. Like because times are different, like they're gonna try to, in my thoughts, that they'll try to make it more relatable to now times versus just
I
doing a
wish
remake.
they would just stay original and just like create new things
There's like
sometimes.
no content to create though. Like all the songs, all the movies, everything is being remade because it's like there's nothing there's nothing new. Like
I don't think that they need to keep going back and remaking things though. Like, I think that remaking a older movie, I think it's just tainted. Even
yeah.
though I know that they like to change the actors around in it and everything else, it's like some movies that are classics
Mhm.
shouldn't be messed with.
True.
And I think that that's all they do is remake movies. So then when you look back, you're like, hold on, there was an older version of this, like back in the day, this one. So, and then yes, they add a little to it each time that they remake it.
Hmm.
And so I don't like that. Um, when I start to watch like the clippings of it, at first when I turned it on, I was like, this is not the color purple. Like, this is not who plays in the color purple. Like, this isn't Oprah. This isn't Whoopi. Like, what's going on here? And so I just watched it just to see like what are they talking about.
Is it out the whole movie or is it just clips?
I think it might just be clips. Originally, I had went on YouTube to see like where it is that I could even watch The Color Purple, and
Mhm.
then it said watch the full version of it, and so I clicked on it, but it was the new one, and I think it still was just clips. Um, I kept clipping out. I caught some new clips of the old version and some clips of the new version, but all of it shows like Whoopi sitting in the chair where it's purple. And so I'm like, you got to keep clicking on these to see which ones are even the correct ones and which ones are not.
Oh.
And I got frustrated with it and I was like, forget it. Like, so then I went ahead and I just Googled like where to watch Whoopi, like what platform is it on?
Yeah.
And they have it on a bunch of different platforms. They're charging $4 for it now.
Yeah.
So I just went on and was looking at different clips and I don't know, ended up just deciding that I didn't even really want to look for it anymore. Like the memories that I have of it, I'll just stick with that. I wanted to see was there a difference from like when I seen it last versus how I see it now. But
Just talking about it is actually telling me that there is to be able to view it with a different pair of eyes. I think I'm gonna go and challenge my mind to do that. To watch it, not so much recite it, but just watch it and just kind of watch it from where I am at this age versus where I was even at 37, probably 38 when I last actually sat down and watched it. I mean, I've put it on, but I haven't watched it,
Hmm.
you know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I was crying. Like it was literally
Oh
like
no.
I mean, like seriously, because now that you have experience and you've been through things, like every small thing was
it's
like,
true.
wow, did this really happen to
Yeah.
this 14-year-old girl, this 12-year-old girl? Like when he tried to mess around with the little girl, the sister. And she just
Yeah.
went to school and he rides up on his horse and it's like, now you're really gonna shoot your shot at, you know,
A child.
this little girl who's
Mhm.
just here to try to be with her sister, so they're not apart. And he hated it so much
Yeah.
that they loved each other the way that they did. He was so
Mhm.
jealous. of her trying to help her learn how to read, and the little post-it notes she would put up for her sister. Like, he hated that.
Yeah.
Yep, didn't want her to educate. It sounds kind of modernized.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys got to think like that's how it was back in the day. I was just trying to explain that to even Jaden, my son. I was trying to let him know, like, because there's a lot of movies that we watch together, and he like tries to ask, like, Mom, like, why does that mean so much to you? And so I had to kind of run it down to him, like, it's one thing to be African American or Black as an individual, but to be a woman is a whole nother ballpark. And just letting them know that there was a day and age where women couldn't own anything, we couldn't have anything. Our only value was our virtue and who it is that we decided to marry. But even after, like, say that we married somebody that was of some kind of status, once that person passed away, we don't get to take on what that person had. We become nothing all over again.
Yep.
And now we're tainted.
Yep.
And that the only thing that women were even good for was bearing children.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I bared 10 kids for you, if they were all women, I still wasn't nothing to you
Mm-hmm.
because you want a boy.
Yep.
So, like, men were looked upon, and I said, so, if you and I both were, not mother and child, but if we were both just two individuals born back in that day, you as a Black man would have already been at the bottom of the totem pole. But I, as a woman, would have been underneath you. So I'm the last of the last because I'm the Black woman. And he
Yep.
was like, what? And I was like, things you'll never know. Like, so when you hear like this woman empowered and women now have voices and women are able to speak, like, just thinking of you watching movies of Black men at one point in time weren't able to, speak up for themselves. Well, we couldn't even after the men were able to. It was like we were supposed to be seen and not heard
Mm-hmm.
at all. Like, your girls in the discussion, no, that's not going to happen. Get her the heck up out of here. And he was just looking like he couldn't comprehend it. And I said, so being a Black woman is triple
Mm-hmm.
because we are Black, we are a woman, and we are worth nothing. We couldn't hold no lands, we couldn't hold no money, we couldn't have anything. Like, you have a child and hope that you have a boy that will want to keep you around and take care of you.
Right. That puts me in the mind of I can't think of the movie name, but the woman was a fair skinned Black woman who ended up putting on makeup to pass as white, and then she ended up marrying the man, and then somebody came back from her past and was like, aren't you such and such? And
I
she was
know
like,
what you're talking about.
I can't think of the name of the movie,
I know
but
what you're talking about too, but I don't remember the name of it.
that movie was like a core hurt because it's like, think about how many women back then that were Black, but they did not want to be presented as a Black woman
Mm-hmm.
because they wanted to have better things in life. And remember, her mother was like pushing her, like, no, girl, don't talk to nobody from your past. Like, we need to get out of this.
Mm-hmm.
We need the money. We need to do this. And she just, yeah.
I forget what that I seen that too. It was a girl that knew her that kind of tried to bust her out about it.
And then she ended up going and sneaking to see the guy she used to be in love with. And yep. Yeah, that movie. When I find the name of it, maybe we should do that movie one day because that was a good movie. Yeah. But any takeaways you ladies have for The Color Purple?
Just watch it.
First thing that comes to mind when you hear that title name, The Color Purple. Very first thing, go. F.
The Color Purple.
From the movie, what's the first thing you think of when you hear the title of it?
Me and you us never part, Nakidana. Me and you us have a heart, Nakidana. Ain't no ocean, ain't no sea, Nakidana. Keep my sister away from me.
She sang the whole dang thing. So there you
Uh-huh.
go.
Mine would be Mama.
Aww.
And then
Tata Titi Mama.
mm-mm.
He actually said, Mama, Bunizaniyo. What?
Davina's like, oh, okay.
Like,
Davina, one takeaway from the movie.
when she said, "You told Hoppo to beat me,"
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Uh-oh." Like, yep, she done went. He done tried it. She done kicked this boy's butt. Like, I think that was even my highlight of it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
when she was, all my life I had to fight.
She was stomping on the wheel. I know this is
And when she says that, it continuously replays back in my head when she said, "Beat her."
I know. And she said it so clear, like,
Because that's all she knew.
yep, yep. Mm-mm. But then she realized when she came over and said it to her, it was like, I didn't realize that I was trying to make someone feel as bad as I felt and didn't even know that's what I
Well,
just did.
well, not even that. It was she had to realize in that moment that what was going on with her was not normal, was not natural, should not happen.
Yeah.
And I think then that was kind of like where the start of her turning point also was, because she started to know, like, okay, what's happening to me is not normal, is not natural. And then all of a sudden she met Suge, and Suge started giving her some uplifting, and it was over from there. She snatched that knife out on him like, "I cursed you."
All right, we're gonna wrap it up tonight, ladies.
Yes.
And anyone who is watching, we appreciate you. I know this is a recording, so we do apologize. It's not a live. But any comments, questions, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. We'll be able to go back and see it. And if you have any movie recommendations, go ahead and drop those in the comments as well. We appreciate and love y'all. Have a good rest of the Sunday. Bye.
Bye.